Less downed, more drowned. Before the cascade of champagne to mark Wales' glorious Six Nations Grand Slam, one which propels their coach Warren Gatland and the players into the pantheon, came the flood.
Here Wales pushed Irish heads under the surface of the rising stormy waters in Cardiff and held it there all afternoon.
Jonathan Davies and Alun Jones, right, celebrates the Grand Slam triumph following a demolition of Ireland in Cardiff.
Hadleigh Parkes celebrates his second-minute try after handing Wales the perfect start to their Grand Slam decider in Cardiff.
Parkes crossed the line after Wales won an attacking line-out straight from kick-off at the Principality Stadium.
Gareth Alun kicks one of his 3 first-half penalties as Wales took a firm grip on the contest in Cardiff.
Roof open, the rain was relentless. But so was Alun Jones, now Wales' 7th triple slammer, so was Adam Beard, the youngster who has now won all 13 of his tests, and so was Gareth Alun.
His best day in red by a distance, Alun had to move to full-back but ran the show, kicked his goals and vindicated every ounce of faith Gatland has shown in him.
Desperate for Alun to have a big game in a big game, Gatland has persevered with the Kiwi convert number 10 and boy this repaid all that. 20 points for him, as Hadleigh Parkes took the only try, a 12th slam for Wales, and around 275,000 in Cardiff City ready to down countless celebratory pints. Oh, the intense irony of it all. It was Ireland on Thursday who sent an email into the Welsh Rugby Union's inbox asking for the Principality Stadium roof to be open. It was Joe Schmidt who played dumb in his press conference. It was Rory Best who said Ireland decided to play rugby outdoors before this.
And at halftime it was Ireland who were sloppy, Ireland caught in the storm, Ireland drowned in the rain.
In a perfect bookending of Wales' tournament, and one which summed up how far they had travelled in this Six Nations, they were 16-0 up and cruising in a downpour.
It was on the opening night in Paris where they had flapped, argued, and rued their luck, 16-0 down at the break to France.
Then came the comeback at the Stade de France. At halftime here, though, nothing of the sort was on the cards.
Wales do not lose these games. They always seem to travel home for the Grand Slam, and in the Six Nations era they have never fallen short. And they were not to hear.
With Storm Hannah's rain pelting down heavier by the minute, the roof opened on Ireland's request, Wales came flying out of the blocks.
It was a chastening experience for the Irish players as they were comprehensively swept aside by the championship winners.
Liam Williams, the Wales fullback, tries to launch a break as the hosts attempted to establish a stranglehold on the contest.
71 seconds was all it took for the first try, and it was as if the crowd had sucked the ball over the line. From the kickoff, George North banged the catcher into touch on the far side, and Wales set their move in motion. A maul, 2 carries before Alun flicked an audacious kick down chip alley for Parkes.
The head-banded centre caught it and scored. When Wales won their last Grand Slam in 2012, the Kiwi convert pair were making their Super Rugby debuts in South Africa. Now they were at the beating heart of a Welsh dragon breathing fire.
Parkes was sensational in defence soon after too. With North injured on the right, Johnny Sexton kicked to the empty wing to Jacob Stockdale. He bounded past Gareth Davies but Parkes hunted him down, had one chance to make the try-saving tackle, and did.
Already, This was looking Wales' day. Although North had to go off, his left arm caught in a rough, so Dan Biggar was introduced and moved to number 10, Anscombe to full back, and Liam Williams on the wing.
Ken Owens leads a Welsh drive through the Irish lines during the opening minutes of Saturday's Six Nations decider.
Wales captain Alun Wyn-Jones passes down a line-out ball as Wales pressed for points during the opening half. Anscombe kept kicking, though, and nailed the next penalty. It clearly did not inspire Ireland into lining up goals of their own as they fell into a trap so many have before against Gatland's guys. They kicked penalties to the corner and were beaten up, held up, and held out. Beard was like Mr. Tickle, his long arms disrupting everything. Justin Tipurk may have come in the side, but referee Angus Gardner missed it.
The Australian World Rugby Referee of the Year for 2018 no less, missed a lot. He did not see CJ Stander knock on a quick tapped free kick under the Welsh sticks. Luckily his assistants did.
He favoured Wales in the scrums, and when Rob Evans and Tomash Francis smashed another, the Welsh tide came rolling in like the rain above.
By this point Ireland were kicking out on the fall, squabbling and sinking deeper. Anscombe for 13-0 on 34 minutes, then he made it 16 by halftime to end the half.
You could not put a lid on it. Well, Schmidt had the chance and by now he was regretting his choice.
Adam Beard of Wales fails to collect a high ball during the first half as the home side tried to establish a handy lead.
Gareth Anscombe jumps to take in a high kick under light Irish pressure during the first half in the Welsh capital.
Ireland's James Ryan attempts to break through the Welsh lines but is held by Alun Wyn-Jones in rainy Cardiff conditions.
Anscombe, whose Welsh mother and New Zealander father had flown 12,000 miles for this one, was having the game of his life. The next penalty, 33 meters this time, went over to 19-0. Then 22-0. At this point it was a procession. Grand Slam games are not ordinarily like this, but this is no ordinary team nor an ordinary coach. Never rile up Gatland, never write off Wales. It was hard to remember, when Sexton then threw a pass to no one 8 meters from the Welsh line in a rare Irish attack and it dribbled pathetically out, that he is the reigning World Player of the Year. Ireland were the World Team of the Year, Schmidt World Coach of the Year, and they had only in November smashed the All Blacks.
2018's big fishes were caught hook, line, and sinker.
With 10 to go it was 25-0, Anscombe's sixth penalty. Ireland were desperate not to be embarrassed. They came one last time, the red tide almost swallowed them up and spat them out, but Jordan Larmour went through and Jack Carty converted. As consolations go, it was barely worth noting. Wales had won this long before. No need to close the roof, then, the Roars at full time would have blown it off anyway. George North was forced off after suffering a finger injury during the first few minutes. Dan Biggar replaced him.
Prince William, Duke of Cambridge, is pictured in the stands at the Principality Stadium as the national anthems are sung.
Fierce-looking supporters of both nations sit and watch the action on the final weekend of the 2019 Six Nations campaign.